Now I just finally figured out that math problem.
Looks like we're finally going to see Vin Diesel in something besides the Fast and Furious movies. While he's got Riddick Furia coming up, there's also talk that he's making a comeback in XXX as Xander Cage, and this time he might be bringing along some new faces. So, let's break down everything we've heard so far about XXX, shall we? As we know that one of the easiest ways to generate buzz around a movie like this is to bring in new star power. And I think about how franchises like Fast and Furious brought in Dwayne Johnson at just the right time, or how John Wick amped things up by adding Donnie Yen in Chapter 4. These kinds of casting choices get people talking, even before a trailer drops. So who could help XXX make a big comeback at the box office? Someone with both global appeal and action credibility. Someone like Jason Statham maybe, or even a surprising pick like Henry Cavill. It doesn't even have to be a macho action guy. Throwing in a rising action heroine like Ana de Armas could really shake things up and widen the film's appeal. But even with some shiny new talent, the movie needs one thing above all to really work: Vin Diesel. When XXX first hit theaters in 2002, it was loud, flashy, and unapologetically over the top. And honestly, that's what made it so fun. With Diesel playing the thrill-seeking Xander Cage, the movie raked in over $277 million worldwide. It was a solid box office performance, and enough of a hit that a sequel was quickly greenlit. But here's where things got rocky. Diesel bailed on the second movie, XXX State of the Union, which came out in 2005 with Ice Cube stepping in as the lead. Without Diesel's name on the poster, the sequel crashed hard, only bringing in around $71 million globally. That's a big drop, and it made it clear that people weren't really here for the brand, they were here for Vin. So when Diesel finally came back in 2017 for XXX Return of Xander Cage, there was a mix of curiosity and nostalgia. And surprisingly, the movie didn't just do well, it crushed it, pulling in $346 million worldwide. That kind of success usually screams franchise reboot, and fans were hopeful that XXX would be right around the corner. But that was over 7 years ago now, and still nothing. While fans were waiting for some kind of official announcement, things have been mostly quiet on the XXX front. And now, Ruby Rose, who starred in the 2017 film as Sniper Adele Wolfe, has offered an update, but not the kind people were hoping for. In a recent interview with Screen Rant, while promoting her upcoming film Dirty Angels, Rose was asked about the status of XXX. Her answer? Pretty underwhelming. I haven't heard anything since 1974, she joked. Then she got a little more serious, adding, "No, I don't know. I would hope so because I would love to work with that cast and crew again. They're incredible people." It's clear that Rose had a good time making the film and would be open to returning, but her comments also make one thing obvious: nobody's calling her about it. And that's not a great sign for fans waiting for this sequel. She did mention that Vin Diesel's been pretty busy with his Fast and Furious obligations. After all, those movies just keep going and going. So it's possible that XXX just isn't a priority right now, especially when Diesel also has another project, Riddick Furia, in the pipeline. To be fair, it's not like Diesel has forgotten about Xander Cage completely. Back in 2023, he shared an Instagram post with a photo of him and co-star Deepika Padukone from the 2017 film. The caption was a bit cryptic but hopeful. He wrote, "Spirit lead me. At Deepika Padukone was one of my favorite people to work with. She brought me to India and I loved it. Looking forward to my return." That kind of message felt like a teaser, like he was hinting that something was in the works. Fans started buzzing, expecting some kind of announcement to follow, but nothing happened. No casting news, no script updates, not even a vague release window, just silence. So while Diesel hasn't shut the door completely, it's obvious that XXX isn't moving forward at any real pace. And for a movie that would rely heavily on momentum and excitement, that delay could be a big problem. Even though the original movie is over 2 decades old, there's still some nostalgia tied to the XXX brand. And Diesel is one of those actors who, despite mixed reviews, can still pack theaters. But franchises can't stay in limbo forever. What hurts xXx the most is how long it's been since the last film. Audiences move on, and a lot has changed in the action movie landscape since 2017. We've had more grounded franchises like John Wick. We've seen the superhero genre expand and start to fade, and even long-standing names like Mission Impossible have started feeling the pressure. So if xXx were to happen now, it would need more than just Diesel doing stunts on skis. It would need a whole reimagining to feel fresh again. That's where bringing in new stars could help. Pair Diesel with someone younger, with a big following, and suddenly the movie has a new hook. It could even take the Top Gun Maverick approach, mixing legacy with fresh blood to revive the story in a way that appeals to both longtime fans and a new audience. The honest truth? The longer this project stays idle, the less likely it is to happen. Ruby Rose's comments show that even people who worked on the last movie aren't hearing any whispers, and Diesel himself seems more focused on closing out the Fast and Furious saga and getting back into his Riddick character. Sure, xXx could be pulled off the back burner at some point, especially if Diesel finds himself in need of a new franchise. But based on how things look now, there just isn't enough behind-the-scenes interest to suggest the movie is anywhere close to being greenlit. And yet, Diesel has always kept Xander Cage in his back pocket. He may not have prioritized the character for over a decade after the first film, but he brought him back when the time felt right. So while it's easy to assume xXx is dead, we probably shouldn't completely count it out. The box office numbers really paint a clear picture of how the xXx franchise has performed over the years. The original xXx in 2002 made an impressive $277.4 million worldwide, especially considering its $88 million budget. But things took a nosedive with xXx State of the Union in 2005, which only brought in $71.1 million against a $60 million budget, largely because Vin Diesel wasn't part of that sequel. Then came xXx Return of Xander Cage in 2017, which marked a huge comeback by earning $346 million on an $85 million budget. That surge proved that Diesel's return helped revive interest in the series, and that the audience was still very much there. So it's not that people have stopped caring about the studio and Diesel have the drive to keep things going, or if they've quietly decided to let the series slip into the background. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.